A warm and familiar silent kitchen, where cold steel gently meets the rugged skin of an ancient root. Thin slices fall to the wooden board. A faint, aromatic mist rises, carrying the fiery breath of ancient empires. Let us dive deep into those golden fibers, descending into the vibrant, pulsing cells of the mystical plant. Time begins to unravel and warp, pulling us back through centuries of human greed to the primal wild. We awaken in the ancient, damp forests of South Asia, where heavy rains nourish the dark, fertile soil. There are no human footsteps here, only the eternal rhythm of falling water and the lush green, tropical canopy. A heavy droplet slides down a slender emerald leaf, soaking deeply into the quiet, decaying earth down below. Beneath this wet, rotting layer of ancient leaves, a humble life form quietly anchors itself in the eternal, silent darkness. It does not reach for the bright sunlight. Instead, it slowly absorbs the raw, volatile energy of storms. Rough and twisted like a crippled hand, it guards a potent underground fire, waiting to be fiercely awakened. Within these hidden dark chambers, microscopic rivers of golden sap begin to flow with a strange, warm vitality. Luminous molecules of gingerol ignite like tiny stars, a subterranean inferno silently waiting to cure and conquer our worlds. This gentle fire does not destroy the earth. It radiates a profound healing warmth, cradling the fragile, buried roots. A completely unassuming subterranean treasure, soon to become the very heartbeat of legendary fleets and dying foreign emperors. From this isolated primal forest, the underground flame prepares to cross treacherous oceans and rewrite our human history. Above the ground, a violent tropical tempest ravages the ancient canopy, tearing through the silent emerald wilderness. Gigantic ferns tremble beneath the heavy deluge, surrendering to the merciless power of the dark, roaring skies. Yet beneath this chaotic symphony of destruction, the dark earth quietly drinks the falling, heavy, celestial waters. Deep within the suffocating black soil, the humble root eagerly absorbs every single drop of raw energy. Water merges with ancient minerals in the dark, awakening a dormant alchemical process hidden within plant cells. A slow biological combustion begins in absolute silence, forging the fierce golden compound known to mortals as gingerol. The twisted flesh expands against the heavy mud, pulsing with an intense and invisible thermal, radiant life. As the furious storm finally passes over the jungle, a single ray of golden sunlight pierces the mist. A fragile green shoot breaks through the muddy crust, reaching upward with a quiet and resilient determination. The vast prehistoric landscape breathes in profound peace, unaware of the potent empire resting silently beneath its feet. Time slowly peels away the top layers of decaying soil, exposing a small fragment of the rugged skin. A brilliant golden yellow shines through the damp darkness, promising a sharp, fiery warmth born from cold mud. Volatile oils release their potent defensive essence into the wind, a sharp, invisible warning to any wandering creatures. This invisible aromatic signature drifts through the dense, humid air, carrying the raw, primitive breath of the earth. The subterranean fire is finally fully forged in the dark, waiting patiently for human hands to unearth it. Centuries dissolve as the silent underground treasure is violently pulled from its dark and ancient primordial womb. Heavy leather pouches swing rhythmically against the sides of exhausted beasts, carrying the exotic, fiery roots of the distant east. The perilous journey crosses scorching, endless sands and treacherous, unforgiving seas towards the greedy heart of a massive, conquering empire. Deep within the dark wooden hulls of these ancient vessels, the rough rhizomes wait patiently in complete and absolute darkness. They finally arrive at the magnificent, bustling port of Alexandria, where exotic fragrances mingle with the heavy scent of pure power. Here, the humble underground root is suddenly transformed into pure luxury, weighed carefully against heavy chunks of solid Roman silver. Ruthless imperial tax collectors enforce crippling tariffs on every single shipment, turning this simple spice into an exclusive symbol of immense wealth. Weathered hands of wealthy foreign merchants meticulously inspect the strange golden roots, seeking the intense, warming fire hidden deep within them. From the noisy public markets The precious roots travel into the heavily guarded marble villas of Rome's most powerful patrician elite. Inside a heavy stone mortar, a heavy pestle crushes the dry yellow flesh, releasing an intoxicating and fiercely sharp aroma. Decadent imperial banquets are lavishly infused with this rare exotic heat, a temporary illusion of conquering the mysterious uncharted lands of the East. A single drop of spiced wine laced with golden ginger extract drips down a silver goblet, warming the cold, dying bodies of emperors. Beyond mere culinary indulgence, Roman physicians desperately documented its potent medical secrets, believing the root possessed miraculous divine healing properties. Ink saints the thick parchment as careful Latin words describe the subterranean fire, a powerful medicine to cure poisons and soothe troubled stomachs. The Roman Empire hungered endlessly for this distant golden magic, igniting a relentless global pursuit that would eventually alter the shape of the world. While Rome collapsed into ruin and dust, another colossal empire rose silently across the eastern oceans. A massive wooden armada slices through the cold, dark waters, carrying thousands of men into the unknown. The legendary treasure fleet of Admiral Zheng He, a floating city expanding the boundaries of the world. A bronze magnetic compass spins wildly under the burning sun, guiding the wooden leviathans through uncharted foreign storms. But the true weapon of this terrifying armada was not heavy iron cannons or sharp steel blades. Resting quietly on the vast sun-baked wooden decks, hundreds of humble clay pots harbor a familiar ancient secret. Surrounded by an endless abyss of deadly salt water, these fragile ceramic vessels carry the pure essence of Earth. Buried within the dark imported mainland soil, the rough, golden rhizome sleeps under the brutal, tropical maritime sun. As the months drag on without sighting dry land, a creeping, invisible shadow begins to stalk the crew. Scurvy quietly rots the human body from within, a horrific curse born from the complete absence of fresh life. To survive the merciless isolation of the deep blue abyss, the sailors turn to their silent, earthly passengers. Calloused hands carefully pour precious fresh water over the clay, awakening the subterranean fire far away from home. A tiny, resilient green shoot pushes through the wet soil, a miraculous beacon of hope amidst the vast oceanic void. Inside the damp earth of the swaying wooden ship, the gingerol compounds synthesize into a potent, life-saving medicine. The fiery root becomes a vital shield of absolute survival, keeping the pulse of an entire empire beating strong. Empowered by the humble golden root, the colossal wooden fleet finally reaches the exotic shores of distant Africa. Heavy iron anchors crash into the shallow, pristine waters, signaling the arrival of an unprecedented Eastern maritime supremacy. Swahili merchants and Arab traders stare in sheer, absolute awe, watching the floating wooden mountains dominate their peaceful horizon. Ming ambassadors present the vibrant living ginger plants, a priceless exotic offering to the astounded foreign local kings. This humble, fiery root now serves as a powerful diplomatic tool, bridging vastly different cultures across the ancient world. Intricate star maps and sweeping coastal outlines are carefully drawn, fueled by the enduring warm energy of the spicy rhizome. The known boundaries of human existence violently expand outward, stretching across the vast Indian Ocean to the Red Sea. The resilient green shoots are carefully planted into foreign soil, taking root in the hot and unforgiving African coastal earth. Yet the golden age of the Ming treasure fleet suddenly vanishes, leaving the oceans open for a new, greedy power. Magnificent wooden ships are abandoned and slowly rot away into dust, while the humble underground route quietly survives the empires. A dark new era of global spice dominance aggressively dawns, as heavy European galleons begin to fiercely cross the oceans. Thick parchment maps are aggressively stained with black ink and blood, marking the deadly new oceanic routes to the east. Ruthless European explorers hunger for the ancient, spicy golden treasure, willing to shatter the world to claim the fiery harvest. Black gunpowder spills carelessly next to dried yellow ginger fragments, a dark, terrifying omen of the brutal colonial centuries ahead. The secret underground flame is no longer a gentle healing medicine. It is now the ultimate violent prize of global warfare. The mighty European trading forts rise ominously along the lush Asian coasts, casting long shadows over ancient local spice markets. Hot red sealing wax drips onto heavy parchment paper, forming the aggressive crest of massive colonial monopoly companies. Thunderous cannon fire shatters the peaceful tropical oceanic horizon as rival naval fleets fiercely battle for ultimate commercial supremacy. A thick leather ledger is aggressively filled with black ink, calculating the immense fortunes built entirely upon dried yellow roots. Thousands of miles away, in cold, gloomy Amsterdam and London, massive wooden cranes unload endless shipments of exotic Eastern wealth. Coarse, heavy burlap sacks violently scrape against rough wooden docks, spilling a few precious golden flakes into the dirty water. The global map is ruthlessly redrawn by greedy imperial hands, connecting distant foreign continents through an invisible web of trade. A sharp, steel dagger violently stabs into a thick navigational chart, marking the highly contested territorial borders of spice colonies. Lush tropical islands in the Caribbean are aggressively transformed into endless green plantations, solely to feed the insatiable European hunger. Heavy drops of salty human sweat fall onto the sun-baked earth, watering the spicy roots with silent and profound suffering. Countless enslaved laborers toil under the brutal, blistering colonial sun, forced to endlessly harvest the fiery treasure of their masters. Heavy iron chains drag slowly across the dry, loose dirt, leaving deep scars right beside the delicate, fragile green shoots. The fiery root is finally stripped of its sacred medical aura, becoming a completely common ingredient in busy European bakeries. A sharp metal grater shreds the fresh, yellow fibrous flesh, releasing that familiar, warm, comforting scent into a cold society. Sweet, spicy smoke rises gracefully from tall brick chimneys, masking the dark, brutal history behind every single warm, delicious bite. The exotic golden treasure, once reserved for dying Roman emperors, now fills the bustling, noisy cobblestone streets. Dark glass bottles eagerly capture the wild, subterranean fire, fermenting into a sharp, biting liquid golden warmth. Massive iron steamships conquer the deep, brutal Atlantic Ocean, carrying millions of hopeful souls towards unknown horizons. Tucked safely inside heavily battered immigrant trunks, the ancient twisted root offers a comforting, familiar, spicy home. Vibrant immigrant markets blossom in distant, cold concrete cities, bridging the vast, lonely gap between isolated continents. The sharp root sizzles violently in deep, dark oil, releasing an explosive, intense flavor of pure resilience. Colossal steel cargo ships replace the fragile wooden fleets, silently transporting thousands of tons across calm seas. While empires fiercely rise and violently crumble into dust, the humble underground root remains completely, fiercely unchanged. Modern science carefully dissects the ancient, wild medical magic, proving what primitive humans always intuitively, deeply knew. Microscopic lenses finally revealed the burning golden molecular fire, a potent chemical structure designed for human healing. Yet the quiet, ancient apothecaries remain perfectly untouched, brewing thick, dark teas that cure modern, aching souls. Heavy pestles continue to crush the raw, yellow flesh, an unbroken sacred rhythm echoing through countless human generations. Vast, organized agricultural grids now cover the ancient jungles, endlessly feeding the insatiable global craving for warmth. Calloused hands patiently pull the heavy clusters from mud, paying the quiet, eternal physical toll of agricultural harvest. The dark, fertile soil gently falls from the rhizome, completing a silent, invisible cycle of global life. The bloody wars of colonial empires have long faded into the silent shadows of our forgotten human history. Yet the quiet underground fire continues to burn brightly across our modern and vastly interconnected global world. Vibrant neon lights illuminate busy Asian night markets, where thick, fragrant steam carries that ancient, familiar golden warmth. A simple ceramic bowl of rich amber broth becomes a quiet sanctuary against the bitter modern winter cold. It no longer demands the heavy price of silver coins or the tragic sacrifice of innocent human lives. The rugged golden rhizome has humbly surrendered its exclusive royal crown to universally nourish the everyday working soul. From the lavish marble halls of Rome to the damp, dark decks of the legendary ancient wooden fleets, this tiny, twisted root carried the immense heavy weight of our endlessly ambitious and fragile human civilization. We slowly pull away from the vast echoes of ancient time, returning from the damp, primal, wild forests. The microscopic, glowing galaxies of fiery gingerol molecules gently dissolve back into perfectly ordinary organic plant cells. The chaotic roaring oceans and the bustling ancient spice markets quietly shrink back into absolute, peaceful, modern silence. We finally awaken, exactly where our long, epic journey initially began, in the warm, quiet comfort of the present. The sharp, cold steel knife rests peacefully next to the freshly sliced golden rings of the ancient earth. A warm, familiar mist rises gracefully toward the kitchen ceiling, carrying the enduring ancient breath of the forgotten gods. Remember the monumental, epic history resting silently on your wooden cutting board, patiently waiting to awaken once more.